Imagine waking up tomorrow with everything you've ever wanted. The car, the house, the freedom. No debt, no stress, just pure wealth. Feels good, right? But here's the harsh reality. Most people will never get there. And it's not because they lack talent or opportunity, it's because they don't think like the rich. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, "Oh great, another Think Rich video," let me tell you a story. A story about a man who went from being laughed at for calling himself rich to actually becoming one of the wealthiest people you've never heard of. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why being rich starts in your mind long before it shows in your bank account. Stay till the end, because if you don't, well, let's just say the 1% are hoping you click away. Meet Daniel. He wasn't born into wealth. In fact, he was raised in a tiny apartment where money was always tight. His friends would laugh when he'd say, "I am rich." "Dude, you literally just borrowed $5 for lunch," they'd joke. But Daniel wasn't crazy. He understood something most people don't. Wealth isn't about what's in your wallet today. It's about what's in your mind every single day. While others spent money on parties, he invested in books on finance. While they laughed at the idea of saving, he was quietly learning how to make money work for him. But here's where it gets interesting, because despite his mindset, Daniel still wasn't rich, yet. And that's when life threw him a challenge. One day, Daniel got fired. No backup plan, no income, just bills piling up like a game of Jenga ready to collapse. Most people would panic, most people would complain. But Daniel, he smiled. Why? Because he had trained himself to think like the rich. And the rich don't see problems, they see opportunities. Instead of searching for another job, he built his own. He started flipping products online, reinvesting every dollar instead of spending it. And here's where it gets wild. Within 2 years, Daniel went from broke to making 6 figures. His old friends, still struggling, still laughing at the idea of wealth. And yet, the guy they once mocked was now the one driving past them in a car they couldn't afford. That's when he realized being rich isn't about money, it's about the mindset that attracts it. But what happened next? That's where this story takes a shocking turn. One day at a reunion, an old friend saw Daniel's success and asked, "Man, what's your secret?" Daniel laughed. "The secret? I started calling myself rich before I was." The friend frowned. "Wait, that's it?" "That's it," Daniel said. "Because the moment you believe you're wealthy, you start acting like it. You start making choices that lead to it. And eventually, reality catches up." See, most people say, "I'll believe it when I see it." But the wealthy, they see it because they believe it. That's the difference between the 1% and the 99%. One group waits for permission, the other decides for themselves. So, the question is, which one are you? Now, if you're still watching, I know one thing. You don't want to be average. But here's the deal. Mindset alone won't make you rich. You need the habits, the strategy, and the discipline to back it up. And that's exactly what separates the 1% from the 99%. So, if you're ready to take the next step, click on this next video. Why 1% succeed and 99% fail. Because if you don't, well, let's just say the 1% are hoping you won't. Click now, and I'll see you there.